How's it going, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Want to talk some interesting information regarding Epic Games Store and them losing a lot of money on the Epic Games Store exclusives. Now, obviously, the EGS exclusives are a loss leader, but the amount of money they're losing is kind of wild, so we'll talk about that. This information comes from TechRaptor, and it's from the ongoing Epic versus Apple stuff, and a lot of documents have come out. EGS, want to cover this. So they've invested a lot into acquiring timed exclusives on the Epic Games Store platform, and what it goes to show is that they've spent around $210 million in minimum guarantees to get those developers on board and having them release their games on the EGS platform. However, it only expects to recoup about $80 million of that initial investment. Now, at a surface level, you could think losing $30 million is absolutely disastrous, and to an extent it is, but Epic Games Store is a new platform, and obviously any new business venture is going to be a loss leader, and they have so much money that they can do whatever they want. They have Unreal Engine, they have Fortnite. They're making money hand over fist, so at a surface level, $130 million, it's a lot to lose. Like, let's not, mince words or anything like that. $130 million is a lot to lose. However, Epic Games can keep this going for a long, long time if they really see the value in Epic Games Store. Now, in lies the problem. Do you see the value in Epic Games Store? Me, personally, I've gotten to the point where I really don't care about exclusives until it's like an exclusive that is really going to annoy me, like a Final Fantasy VII remake. If that's exclusive to the Epic Games Store, I'll be like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'll use the Epic Games Store if I really want to play the game at that point, but would have preferred it to be available on all platforms. Me personally, even a game like FF7 Remake wouldn't be that disastrous to me because I already have the game on PlayStation 4 and it's upgraded on PlayStation 5, so that version runs really well. It looks really good, so it wouldn't be the end of the world for me, but I could understand a game like that being a little bit of a nuisance, being an EGS exclusive. Red Dead Redemption 2 seeing a month-long exclusivity period on the Epic Games Store, and it would be pretty interesting to know how much EGS paid for just a 1 month not on Steam exclusivity period, because it was on the Rockstar Games Store still, but the 1 month not on Steam exclusivity period, that's a new one, the 1 month not on Steam. Nevertheless, again, that's a lot of money to lose, but Epic Games can do this forever, and it's about the value. Is there value in the Epic Games Store long term? And honestly speaking, when I talk to people about EGS, it seems like the general opinion these days is like, yeah, it's a fine store, but are people, and this is the goal, buying games that they wouldn't otherwise have bought on other platforms, and they're using the Epic Games Store inherently over Steam? That is ultimately what they want to do, and that's not to say they have to be as big as Steam, but you do need to get a portion of people that are Epic Games Store first, and how do you do that? Well, obviously, the easiest way is branding your exclusives and doing it that way. I mean, that's what the consoles do, and that seems to work relatively well. I think sometimes it's a little bit overplayed how important exclusives are to consoles. It's, don't get me wrong, very nice to have exclusives, but it's not the be-all, end-all. And with Epic Games Store, I just don't know how that they're going to innovate the storefront to the point where people are using it over Steam. At least a portion of the audience that would typically use Steam pre-EGS, why would they use EGS over Steam? I have yet to figure that out outside of the exclusives, but can you keep churning money on exclusives long term? I guess you could go the route, hey, we'll buy up these exclusives, we'll hopefully make a lot of money as more and more people are buying said exclusives, these timed exclusives on EGS, and we'll make money that way, but I just don't think that's going to be an effective strategy, because I still see so many people that would just wait for the Steam release. They don't care. They don't care about waiting a year to get the Steam release, or they can sail the high seas, as some of you call it. But most people, from what I've heard, they just have stopped caring. They're literally like, who cares if it's on EGS? I've got 1 billion games to play in my backlog, unless it's an absolute top-tier game that is at the top of my priority list, which, by the way, how many games are like that these days? There are so many games that are just as good as the other, to the point of, if you have an exclusive, who cares? Like, it's not even that big of a deal anymore. Unless it's one of the very, very few games that is a difference maker. Like, if Grand Theft Auto 6 came out and Epic Games Store struck a deal and it wasn't even on the Rockstar Store and it's on the Epic Games Store, that's a difference maker. Final Fantasy VII Remake might be a difference maker to a very, very lesser extent, just because it's not like Final Fantasy has been, the PC has been the go-to platform for Final Fantasy outside of FF14. So that is something you have to consider, where games these days, there's just not a lot of games that are difference makers anymore. There's, some of the PlayStation exclusives are good, but if you actually look at the stats on what people are playing PlayStation, on PlayStation 5, it's a lot of Call of Duty, it's a lot of NBA 2K21, it's a lot of Red Dead, Grand Theft Auto, these games that are multi-platform, and yes, The Last of Us Part 2 is gonna do well, and it's nice to have people on social media fighting for you, being like, oh, look at how many games we have on our platform, look at all these exclusives, and at the end of the day, exclusives help a little bit, but I really do believe this online idea that exclusives are the be-all, end-all, I do think that's a bit overplayed. It's nice to have them, and I feel like every platform, especially a PlayStation and Xbox, where it's a separate console, they should strive to have exclusives. But again, when you just look at the metrics, it's the Call of Duties and the sports games of the world that are the most played games, but the exclusives are probably going to be the difference maker for the people that are absolutely on the fence and they don't know what to get. But this idea that PlayStation 4 beat out Xbox One last generation just because of the exclusives, that is not really the case. The Xbox One, you guys remember the absolute disastrous launch period, the forced-in Connect, the $100 extra price, that was a big issue with the Xbox One, and then Sony just got a lot of momentum off that. The used game debacle, those are real elements that help the PlayStation 4 just obliterate the Xbox One. And in this case, they've ridden a lot of that momentum into the new generation, where a lot of PlayStation guys are going PlayStation again, because now we got backwards compatibility and people don't want to lose access to those games. And at the very least, PlayStation 5 does have a Demon's Souls, a Miles Morales, and those are slight difference makers. A Ratchet and Clank, those are big games. And while for somebody like me, Ratchet & Clank is huge, I have to be honest with myself that I'm a freaking nerd, and the casual consumer is different than me. That is at the end of the day. The casual consumer is far different than us that are online, living in our mother's basement. I know not all of us are living in our mother's basement, and I'm not, I swear. But you guys get the idea. I just don't think to have a business model that is completely structured around exclusives, it'll help, but in Epic Game Store case, it's timed exclusive. You're losing a lot of money, and I just can't see how this is going to be prioritized for the long term. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. Like, what is your view on EGS? Is it a platform you use just for the free games? Do you buy some exclusives here and there on it? And if you do buy exclusives, what games have been the difference maker for you? Like, what games have you been like, I don't care, it's on EGS, or maybe you're on the standpoint of, EGS is fine, but I would prefer Steam, but that's a game I need to play. Has a Kingdom Hearts 3 done that for you? Has a Control done that for you? Let me know in the comments section down below, because they need to have those elements of their storefront that are difference makers, and right now the exclusives are only that, but I just don't see people that enamored with the exclusives. So let me know in the comment section down below. I've rambled on long enough, kind of got on a tangent with the console thing, but let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.